From calling Justin Gaethje bird brain last year after his loss to Charles Oliveira, to now calling him handicapped on Twitter, here's the latest from Conor McGregor's new trash talk tweet. But this time, he shouldn't have said what he said. While responding to a fan on Twitter, Conor called Gaethje handicapped, and it's not a surprise that he did something like this. I mean, when it comes to trash talking, there's hardly anyone bigger than him in the sport. He's one of the best at it in the whole of MMA. But this time, he took the ableist joke route, which he shouldn't have, in my opinion. And of course, the MMA community didn't take that joke well. They all came after McGregor and started to bash the Irishman. And surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, Conor deleted that tweet because he couldn't take the backlash anymore. Plus, this isn't the first time these two have been in a situation like this. Both of them like taking digs at each other, but it seems like McGregor prefers it even more. Last year, when Justin lost against Charles Oliveira, McGregor called him bird brain. Also, when Gaethje said he'd consider quitting the sport if Conor gets a title shot before him, only for Conor to call him a brain-dead fool after that. And the highlight hasn't stayed quiet as well. In 2021, he remarked how he doesn't feel bad for Conor after he lost to Poirier in their second fight.
And Conor McGregor had moments early.
Yeah.
Conor had moments early, but Dustin, by Conor trying to take the guillotine, Dustin got on top and dominated the grapple.
Obviously stopped in a horrible way. Give us your thoughts on how it was going.
I was boxing the bleeding head off him, kicking the bleeding leg off him. Usual shit dive to close the distance.
Looks like Gaethje also didn't care about McGregor back then. He straight away said that he doesn't feel bad for McGregor at all after that unlucky loss. In fact, he was happy for Dustin that he went out there and did his job of finishing McGregor. He added that there's nothing in the world that makes him happier than watching McGregor get put down like that. Gaethje loved it. It feels like their beef has been going on forever, and it isn't ending anytime soon as well. And we don't want it to end as well. I mean, who doesn't love it when two UFC fighters are taking shots at each other? It's peak UFC content. One would think after this that these two have taken on each other quite a few times inside the octagon, and that's why they hate each other so much. But that isn't the case with them. For some reason, they still haven't fought each other.
In fact, you saw how quickly he covered up.
Poirier doing a good job staying heavy on the offense, though. He's landing right back. He's not stepping back and just eating shots. He's landing back with Gaethje.
Yeah, and you put him in there with guys like Dustin Poirier, Eddie Alvarez, and Michael Johnson.
It's only the second round, and Poirier is starting to look a little bit weathered. He's on his back heel.
And it looks like it also isn't happening anytime soon. But why would McGregor attack Justin out of nowhere? He must have done something to get a response like this. And the answer's yes. Gaethje was heard saying jiu-jitsu isn't a real fighting style, which McGregor clearly didn't like. A video was circulating on social media recently from the Ultimate Fighter 26. In that clip, Gaethje was advising the flyweight fighter, Jillian Robertson, to not rely on jiu-jitsu a lot, because it's very ineffective in MMA fights. Instead, he told her to rely more on striking, and even said that jiu-jitsu isn't a real fighting style, and added that he knew he was going to get a lot of hate after he said this. But he wanted the best for Robertson, so he still said it. So McGregor decided to take the matter into his own hands and teach Gaethje a lesson. A fan asked him about his thoughts on Justin's comments, to which he replied that Justin Gaethje is a handicap. Oops. Now, what do you guys think? Should he have said something like this? Or is it taking things too far? I think McGregor took it too far with this one. And yes, Gaethje has also responded to this tweet, but what he said just shows how big of a man he is. Highlight simply said, I don't have any reaction to that. He said that he likes it when people think he's stupid. In fact, it's one of his best approaches to life, adding that when you let people think you're stupid and then you engage with them in a situation or a conversation, you're already one step ahead of them. You can take advantage of them feeling that way about you. This way, he said, this situation plays perfectly into his hands. I mean, this was just an insane response from Gaethje. On one side, there's this guy who's constantly taking shots at you, calling you all sorts of disrespectful stuff. On the other hand, you're calmly sitting down and saying that you don't have any reaction to this at all. We need to learn a thing or two from Gaethje, I think. After all this, I think we deserve to see a fight between the two inside the octagon.
Of Gunnar Nelson, but just a great fluidity with Conor McGregor, and he continues to land upstairs on Max Holloway.
And that unpredictable nature of his attack.
Stalking his opponent. Brando looks hurt. This could be the end.
Big left.
This could be an early stoppage.
McGregor comes in.
For McGregor. This could be it.
That is it.
Don't you guys want to see it? Gaethje was asked about it after this tweet and delete debacle. Justin said that he feels like he's never going to fight Conor. Yep, if there was just the tiniest bit of hope left in us, that's gone now as well after Gaethje said this. He said he doesn't believe now that he's ever going to fight McGregor, and that the only reason he wanted to fight him was to shut his mouth. Whoa! He said the money also matters, but all he wanted to do was to shut him up. Gaethje added that he fought Donald Cerrone, and then Conor felt like facing Cerrone as well. He defeated Michael Chandler, and now McGregor's set to take on Chandler. And because of this pattern, Gaethje thinks McGregor won't ever fight him. Plus, I don't think the UFC will give him a fight against Justin just yet. First, he needs to get back to winning ways after some horrible losses in his last couple of fights. McGregor's winless in the UFC in the last 3 years. On the other hand, Gaethje's full of confidence. He picked up a huge win against a rising talent, Rafael Faziev, at UFC 286. He's also ranked at number 3 in the lightweight division.
Ridiculously fast also when he puts together those long combinations. Operating southpaw here down the stretch around 2. Oh! Because he's gone toe-to-toe with one of the best strikers in the UFC. And he's probably going to get the decision. For good measure, a live underdog to be.
And many consider him one of the most exciting fighters in the promotion. So considering all this, right now the highlights are cut above McGregor, and Conor won't make the mistake of fighting him anytime soon. Maybe we do see them fight in a couple of years from now, but it isn't happening anytime soon. Either way, it needs to happen. They need to settle things inside the octagon. They can't go on like this forever. We like when fighters take shots at each other because at the end of the day, we know that they're going to settle things inside the octagon. But in this case, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. But the UFC should make this fight a reality. This is the fight the world wants to see. This is the fight that has the potential to sell like hotcakes. Imagine Justin Gaethje and Conor McGregor going toe-to-toe against each other inside the octagon. Stunning scenes. Plus, things have gotten so bad between the two after this recent event that Gaethje doesn't even care about when Conor's coming back or who he's fighting. Highlights said he's going to pirate McGregor versus Chandler. The Conor versus Chandler bout has everything in it to become one of the pay-per-view blockbusters. But Gaethje still isn't impressed. And it seems like he isn't even going to buy the pay-per-view as well. In an interview recently, the ex-interim lightweight champion said he doesn't care about Conor's comeback at all. He said that if for some reason he ends up watching that fight, he'll pirate it or watch it on some illegal streaming platform, but he won't pay a single penny to watch that fight. Talk about fervent hatred. I love it! And there isn't any chance things are going to cool down between the two. But for now, that's all from me on McGregor dissing Gaethje on Twitter.